11:32 on BBC Radio Merseyside. So how well do you know your neighbours? After years of living in Wallasey, one man felt that he didn't really know us at all. So he decided to put together a community website. Paul Hayes is that person. He joins me now. Hiya, Paul. How are you doing?
Hi, Paul. Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Tell us a bit about this then. How did this all come about, really?
Well, basically, I live over in EastFloat Quay, over in Wallasey on the Wirral, and been there for a few years, my girlfriend Maddie, and we're just getting a bit fed up with not knowing our neighbours, really, and there was no community spirit there. You could go weeks without actually seeing any other person in the building. Tried a Facebook group and all that type of stuff, but it's not really built for actual neighbours, so decided, all right, okay, well, actually, I can teach myself to code, I'm sure. So learnt enough to sort of launch a website after about a month. To basically get to know my neighbours and form a better community for where we lived in the apartment block.
How long have you lived there then?
I've lived there for the past sort of 2-3 years. I've owned the apartment though since day one, so like 7-8 years now, but mainly rented it out. I was down in London before that. But yeah, so it's about 2-3 years back there now.
In all that time, you've never known your neighbours. It's a long period of time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, you'd think, actually, it's as easy as just going knocking on doors, but it genuinely isn't. I know, I tried for ages, and so did my girlfriend, like I say, and we sort of met 1 or 2 people and kind of got to know them. But then when you go knock on doors again, they're not there, and actually, it's not as easy as it sounds.
Do you think it's something about apartments as well? Because apartments are particularly hard to kind of get to know people around you, aren't they?
Yeah, well, initially, I mean, I couldn't relate to being on a residential road, I guess, to start off with. I purely just thought, what's the best way to get to meet my neighbours in the apartment? Because, yeah, actually, you're probably right. It is a little bit harder to get to know people in an apartment block as opposed to a resi road. But actually, since the website's grown a little bit and now we do have residential roads on, apparently there's a lot more people that actually find it harder to meet their neighbours than I thought.
And you clearly believe that community spirit is very important then?
Yeah, definitely. Like, where you live is so important in your life. Like, you spend most of your time there. You're either in your place where you work or the place where you live, really. And everyone's got Facebook friends and everything like that, but they're not always necessarily around the corner from you. But your neighbours are. They're always there. On Facebook, you choose who your friends are, and you choose who you want to befriend on there if you like, but you don't necessarily choose who you live next to. And there needs to be a way of actually communicating with them and talking to them and getting to know them and sort of interacting, and that's what I really wanted to try and do for myself, like I say, to start off with, but it turns out other people want it as well.
It's the little things as well, isn't it? Like with myself and my neighbours, I've lived on my road for about 10 years, so I know them fairly well. Putting each other's bins out or putting them back in and stuff. I mean, exactly. I know that sounds such a minor thing, but it does make a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, a huge amount of difference. Like, I'm going around posting loads of letters at the moment to invite people to join the network. We get a great sign-up rate. But it's amazing how many like little things you notice, like little notes on doors saying, oh, to the person delivering the parcel, please leave on doorstep, don't leave with neighbours. And it's just like, wow, like, why wouldn't you just ask them to leave with your neighbour? It's much safer. It's a talking point as well, but that's the way it is. So that's trying to thing I'm trying to turn around, really.
You said you built the website. I mean, how easy is it to build a website then?
It's not that easy, apparently. Yeah, as I soon found out. I built a very basic sort of functioning website, like I say, for my community, basically, within my buildings, but it soon became very apparent that because it was so busy, I mean, we were getting sort of like 15,000-20,000 page views every week within a couple of weeks of just launching the site, and I soon realised I needed a bit more support on it, so that's when I got a friend, James, involved, and now he actually designs the website now and looks after the crux of it, the tech side, if you like.
Right.
Because it just went way above my head.
What kind of things are you doing on there then? Is it sort of chat forum and things like that?
Yeah, it's a really basic almost like a news feed, if you like. People post things on there and other people can comment on there and like it and all that standard sort of stuff, but it's very focused on your community, so you can either chat just to your road if you want to, you can chat to the wider area. So for example, I could chat to the wider Seacombe area where I live, or if you lived in New Brighton, chat to the wider New Brighton area, but it's really important that you can chat to just your road as well. And there's things like, one of the most used thing on there is like people reporting any safety or crime issues. They notice someone's car's been broken into, or someone tried to get into their house, stuff that people wouldn't necessarily know about unless their neighbours told them. Now everyone knows, so everyone's a bit more cautious. There's like a buy, sell, swap thing on there, so like instead of trying to get rid of an old sofa, actually it's quite difficult to do sometimes. why not just put it on EastFloat, and people get on there and go, yeah, perfect, I'm actually looking for a second-hand sofa, and things like that. We've actually had someone sell a flat through the site now, which is incredible. People have got like cars on there and things at the moment. And there's local recommendations as well. It's a great way to find out local like restaurants, shops, again, stuff that like literally on my doorstep. I've been there for a couple of years, didn't have a clue that some of these awesome restaurants and awesome little pubs and stuff were about. Everyone's like, oh yeah, I went down here yesterday, you should go and check it out. Perfect. Went down there, and the local places get good business from it as well, so it just makes sense, really.
In a way, it sounds like part of this is almost a modern day neighbourhood watch. Yeah, you know, I mean, you don't really hear about neighbourhood watches anymore, do you?
No, exactly. I think neighbourhood watch and even like residents associations and stuff, like we tried all that at our buildings, but it's almost like they are a little bit old-fashioned, and actually there is a better way to do it these days, and why not use technology to do it? Most people are online or on their smartphones. And the other great thing as well, actually, is people I initially thought, we wouldn't get that many older people on, the older generations on there, but actually they're a huge percentage of how many people we have on there. In fact, if anything, they may be our most active users. It's great. Suddenly it's opened the world up to them. iPads, they love iPads. They're always on their iPads.
I mean, I don't know anyone, no matter what age they are, who doesn't love just the touch screen.
Yeah.
Technology is brilliant, isn't it?
Exactly. And the site's built for mobile and for desktop, so people just get on there, and the older generations get on there, getting to know their neighbours a bit more, organising like little tea parties, that type of thing. But they're doing it all the time. That's another thing you can do. You can organise events and stuff like that as well.
So what's the next step then with this, really, do you think?
So we're expanding out. So now we're over New Brighton, we're going to the wider Wallasey area, and then over the whole of Wirral and taking it over to Liverpool and everywhere. We are getting a huge number of requests from different places. So actually, we've already had a huge number like Milton Keynes, South Shields and places like that. So we've already got communities over there. But the plan now is just to keep growing it, really. People want it. It's great. It's great to see. So why not?
Well, is this developing then into a business for you now? I mean, I don't know what your occupation is, but it sounds like it's going to become a full-time job.
I mean, yeah, it really does take up my full-time, really, at the moment. It's growing, like I say, growing really quickly, and you get a lot of people on there, so you want to make sure that, because it's completely free and it always will be free. It's ad free as well. It's not like you don't get plastered with loads of marketing or anything like that. There's none of that, and it's making sure that the usability and people want to keep using it, keep logging on and that type of thing. So yeah, it takes a lot of time up.
Well, it sounds like a great idea. If people want to have a look, how can they go and have a look?
So if you go to, it's just www.eastfloat.com. Go on there. You can. It's invite only, so you've got to have your own special code for your address, so we don't get any sort of like random spammers or
imposters.
Yes, exactly. It's really important. It's a bit old-fashioned. We still post out invites the old-fashioned way, but that's important to us. We want the people's privacy is like our top priority, really. And you can message me there if you do want an invite code. It's just paul@eastfloat.com. Send me an email. Either we'll send one out straight to you if you're already in that area, but if not, we'll look at expanding into that area for you.
And as a result of this now, would you happily go out for maybe a cup of coffee or a pint with a lot of your neighbours?
Yes, we do all the time, yeah. Many socials. Indeed.
Good to meet you, Paul. Paul Hayes there with a way of getting to know your neighbours, and good luck with it all. Hope it continues to expand.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. Great show.